Oh joy, here we go again. Another Holmes product. At least this one, if it stinks, will still be an interesting concept. This is one of the last couple fans that we're going to look at that I got from the VNA sale. As you can see, it has the infamous dust all over it, whatever that stuff is. It's all over everything, every fan at least that I got there. So this is a Holmes 3-speed reversible thermostat controlled window fan, and the model number is HAWF3020N. Made in China. Great. And it's serviced in USA. And while that will become true, I don't really know how that's true now. And it's claimed to be 0.6 amps at 120 volts. And I don't see a UL sticker on here that will give us the date of manufacturer, so I'm not sure how old this is, but I would imagine that it dates back somewhere to the 2000s or perhaps the very late 90s. The plastic is not really yellowed yet, so either it's not that old or it hasn't seen a whole lot of use. What's interesting about this particular unit is that it utilizes one of those long blower wheels, which I don't really understand how they work. I need to do some more research to learn about them. But they're an interesting concept, and they seem to be pretty effective. They surface in most of today's quieter equipment, and due to the surface area through which the air is moved, they seem to be very effective at moving a large volume of air with a very reasonable noise level. And so I would be inclined to think that this fan would be relatively quiet if, and only if, it didn't have that logo on the top. Because for whatever reason, Holmes seems to have nobody that works there with any experience in aerodynamics. So it's reversible with this switch here, which is a physical lever, and it moves a piece of plastic around to deflect the air differently off of the wheel. So that's the part I don't quite understand, how it makes the air move in only one direction. I gotta do the research. But it's got a thermostat here, which has quite a bit of variance to it, and 3 speeds, which are very difficult to use. This is the only thing that's easy to use. So, and this is actually kind of clever how the words switch back and everything. Well, let's go ahead and plug this thing in. It has some plastic side panels there. That's actually kind of cool. That's definitely not how they usually are. They're solid plastic, and it like expands. Who knows what that's going to be like to take apart to clean. Well, let's find out first if this thing is even worth taking apart to clean. Wait. Switch it abysmal. We are looking at 120.1 the volts. Now it's down 120 on the nose, so something must have turned on. Now it's back up to 120.2. Now it's 120.1. 0.2. What's going on with this meter here? One of the ones I have is flaky. I wrote flaky on it. This isn't the one, but maybe it says the flaky one. I don't know. Anyways, this thing apparently was already turned on, but let's start on low. Switch is very difficult to operate. So it's already pretty abysmally loud on low, which again is no surprise with that stupid name on it. The motor is definitely over here. It's very heavy, so it's got to be a decent motor. And I mean, airflow is not bad, but for the air moved, I'm not really sure that I would consider it quiet. I don't think it's really any quieter than the 2021s. It's a less of an annoying sound. This might be easier to ignore in the background, but it's not quiet at all. It does move reasonable air, but it's not quiet. That's 0.49 amps. So there's a point here where it kind of stops moving air, and the air resistance goes down. But interestingly enough, the power draw does not seem to change at all. Down to 0.44, so not much. 4.3. Some moving in the air now. 0.43 amps. Now this is supposed to be exhaust, and it is. It is exhausting. So this works 100%, totally changed the direction of the air, which is kind of cool. I think I might move more air on the intake setting. Power draw is 0.46 amp, 54 watts with a power factor of 0.99, so at least it uses a proper PSC motor instead of the cheesy shitty pull motors. Alright, let's just turn this off for a second and see if this works. It does work. And despite all that noise, yeah, actually the spin down is pretty quick, so the bearings need to be lubricated. Let's go to the medium. Oh my gosh, the noise level on this thing is ridiculous. That's 0.49 amps. 58 watts, the power factor of 0.99, and this is definitely louder than I think the HAWF3020N. And the airflow is pretty strong, I'll give it that much. There's a lot of air coming out of here, but I don't know. I think the noise level would prevent me from ever using this while I'm in the room. And this is abysmal. It would be nice if this was able to be adjusted too, because it feels like it's blowing down quite a bit, which is exactly how the registers are angled, which is kind of dumb. Reverse it. Yeah, it definitely moves a lot more air on the forward position. And let's go to the high. You've got to be joking with this noise level. That is ridiculous. That's 0.51 amps, 61 watts, the power factor of 0.99. Now, it is strong, right? This is moving a lot of air. The air is coming out at a very high velocity. You know, is it moving a high CFM volume? I don't know. I mean, the opening's not that big. Is this better than using one of the HAWF3020Ns? I tend to think it's not, because this I think is actually louder, and the 2021 probably moves more air than this. Yeah, the flow from this, even though it's coming out really strong right at the front, it dissipates pretty quickly. So .46 amps. 0.5 amps. Abysmal. Well, here we go again. Another abysmal loud product from Holmes. Can't even shut this thing off barely. There are balancing weights on that blade, which is interesting. Surprised they took the time to balance it. Let's see, was it in balance? Actually, yes, it is. It's in pretty reasonable balance. Too bad you're going to get a headache while you're using it.